Good afternoon, BookTube, YouTube. This is Johnny. Thought I'd make a video. It is October the 8th. It is 1:45 in the afternoon. It is 70 degrees inside the hermit hut. I'm down on the lower level, which contains my my book collection. My wife has her own room upstairs. Our daughter's old bedroom is her library, and we have books throughout the house, but down here is most of my library. So yeah, it is a Tuesday here in Southwest Michigan. It's a sunny day. We've had more sun than we can ever imagine this month. I've never seen so much sunshine, which is fine. I don't like waking up in the mornings to cold, dark, rainy, snowy days. But what I'm going to do in this video is I'm just going to show you used books that I have found at used bookstores, not used bookstores, thrift stores and Blue Stockings bookshop here in Holland. And also at Finville Public Library used book room. Mostly these are from Action House, Thrift Store, Goodwill. I think that's it. Maybe, I don't think Legacy, or I think they're all just local around where we live in a 5-minute radius. First of all, I'm going to show you, I mentioned, what was it, last week? I had a doctor's appointment last Tuesday, my yearly wellness checkup, and on the way home we stopped at Finville Public Library, and they have a used book room, and I just found 3 books. I found this one, Posthumous Memoirs of Bias Cuba, a novel by Machado de Assis. This is translated out of Portuguese by Margaret Joel Costa and Robin Patterson. And I had this already. Another novel by him, Counselor Aries, a Memorial by Machado de Assis. I have other books by him, translations in the back room, so I got those. And then I like memoirs or biographies of journalists, and I saw this at the Finville used book room, Paper Chase, True Stories of a Vanished Times by Harold Evans. Now, I never heard of Harold Evans, but it says here, there's a little quote by a fellow named Andrew Marr, a jaw-dropping social history, the best education possible in what true journalism all about. This Harold Evans is former editor of the Sunday Times, the Times of London, former president and publisher of Random House. He is the author of American Century, They Made America. He lives in New York City with his wife, Tina Brown. Now, this was published, let me see, this was published in 2009. So it's his memoir of his life as a journalist. It looked interesting, and I like reading about journalists, newspapermen, publishers, people like that. And then I found Fidel and Chi, Revolutionary Friendship by Simon Reed Henry. This is on Castro and Shiva. What's his name? His name was Castro and Caveros. There were two revolutionary South American. Castro's from Cuba. So I got that by Fidel and Che. So I got that. I got these yesterday. I went to Blue Stockings. I had to do an errand and I stopped by there, and I have in-store credit, and I bought these books for, what was that, $3.12. I had in-store credit. It's called Savage Continent, Europe in the Aftermath of the World War II by Keith Lowe. I was interested in reading the chapter here, the ethnic cleansing of Ukraine and Poland. Guest of honor, Booker T. Washington, Theodore Roosevelt, and the White House Dinner That Shocked the Nation by Deborah Davies. I have two other books by Deborah Davies. She wrote a book called Strapless, John Singer Sargent and the Fall of Madam X, Party of the Century, the fabulous story of Truman Capote and his black and white ball. I have those books in my library, but I didn't have this one by her. And I have a large Theodore Roosevelt collection. That's why I bought it. I might have a biography of Booker T. Washington. What else I get there? I found this for 50 cents at Blue Stockings. The Revolutionary Period, 1763 to 1812, by Henry Eldridge Bourne. This was published in 1916. And I've been reading on this time period, so that's why I picked it up. Yeah, I like that time period. I have been buying a lot of books lately. And I found this at Blue Stockings. Someone is out to get us. Not so brief history of the Cold War. Paranoia and Madness by Brian T. Brown. If you've watched my videos over the years, I collect books on the Cold War, that time period, and world history, American history. So yeah, I got all kinds of books on the Cold War. I think I had cataloged in my library thing 37 books on the Cold War, where I had that description. What else did I find there? Oh, here we go. I found this biography on Lenin for 50 cents at Blue Stockings. It's called The Life and Death of Lenin by Robert Payne. Yeah, I collect biographies on world leaders, Lenin, Stalin, certain presidents. Then I had those biographies on Castro and Che, C-H-E, I cannot pronounce that, but I didn't have this one in my, I collect biographies, so this one I didn't have on Lenin. I have another one. I wasn't sure if I had showed this, but when this is not on Lenin, I got this one too recently. Maybe it's the same person. No, I found this one recently, Stalin, a biography by Robert Service. I'm not sure if I showed this. I can't remember where I got this. I might have picked it up at the Findale Public Library. I don't remember, but Yeah, I collect biographies. I'm really into Russian history, especially the Bolshevik, the rise of communism, that whole time period. I found at Blue Stockings a book I've been looking for a long time, a used copy, and I finally found one. This is Clarissa, History of a Young Lady by Samuel Richardson. I've been looking for this for a long time, and there it was at Blue Stockings, and maybe I'll get around to reading it. I have his other novel, Pamela, but I don't have this one. I might have another book of his somewhere around here. Pamela or Virtue Rewarded I have. Clarissa or History of a Young Lady. Yeah, I was looking, so I got this at Blue Stockings. I was really pleased to finally get a copy. I picked up Blue Stockings for 50 cents. I'm into literary criticism, Renaissance studies, but what this book attracted me was the chapter on Dante. It has a chapter here on Metamorphosis, Poetics, and the Meaning in Dante's Inferno. That's why I got it. It was only 50 cents. So, yeah, The Gods Made Flesh, Metamorphosis, The Pursuit of Paganism by Leonard Barkan. It's basically a Renaissance studies, literary criticism, like Shakespeare and the Metamorphosis of Art and Life, Metamorphosis, Paganism and Renaissance Imagination, Metamorphosis in the Middle Ages, Ovid and Metamorphosis. Just look, only 50 cents. It was a little marked, but very little, so I picked up 50 cents. I found this at Gateway Mission Thrift Store. I had to go get gas from my car, and on the way home I stopped at Gateway and found William Wordsworth, The Major Works. He was a romantic poet. I didn't have this. I thought I had it and I wasn't sure, but I bought it. So now I have his Major Works. When I was really into high school, and when I was in high school back in the late 60s, I was really into romantic poets. Shelley, Byron, nature poets like Wordsworth and Coleridge and Matthew Arnold I was into, so I found that. I found this at the Finville Public Library used book room, The Longest Night, The Military History of the Civil War by David J. Etcher, forward by James M. McPherson. Usually I don't collect books on the Civil War. Maybe I got this at the Gateway. You buy 2 books, you get 1 free, where you buy 1 book, you get 1 free, so I got this free. And I don't know. I do have some books on the Civil War, American Civil War, but it looked kind of interesting, so I grabbed it. I found this at the Finville Public Library used book room, Stone Virgin, a novel by Barry Onsworth. I collect the novels of Barry Onsworth. I just read one just recently. I read his novel. I just read one of his novels. It's not mentioned here, but I collect his novels. I didn't have this one in my Barry Onsworth collection. There's a picture of him. I think he is author of 8 novels. Now this came out, he's written a lot more since then. This came out in 1986. So but I think he is author of 8 novels, shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 1980. Teaching at the University of Istanbul, he traveled widely in Turkey and drew upon Turkish and Greek background for Pascal's Island. He goes on and on. Currently writer in residence at the University of Liverpool. Well, that was in '86. But anyway, I really enjoy his writings. I bought this at the Gateway, and then I found out I already had it in my library. So this is a double. This will go in the car, in a box of doubles. Crucible of Command, Ulysses Grant and Robert E. Lee, The War They Fought, The Peace They Forged by William C. Davies. I had this already in my... I collect biographies on Grant and on Robert E. Lee, so I already had this one. I've got this at Gateway. John Baron Swartz, The Commoner, a novel. I had this cataloged already in library thing, but I can't find my copy, so I'll keep it until I find my copy. But I think I have another novel here, Reservation Road, somewhere in this down here. I found these 4 novels at Goodwill, and I bought them because sometimes you want something light to read, not so heavy. And this was a writer I never heard of. His name is Colin Batman, and I think he is Irish or English. Let me see, it says here. Was born in Northern Ireland in 1962. For many years, he was the deputy editor of the County Down Spectre. He received a Northern Ireland Press Award for his weekly satirical column, Journalist Fellowship at Oxford University. His first novel, Divorcing Jack, won a Betty Tass Prize. Anyway, I wrote... excuse me. Excuse me. Shooting Sheen by Colin Bateman. They're all kind of crime, kind of mystery kind of things. And then I bought Colin Bateman, Horse with My Name. Turbulent Priest by Colin Bateman. And then I bought, these are only like 80 cents a piece, Cycle of Violence, Colin Bateman. And then Oh We Sweetie Mice and Men by Colin Bateman. Yeah, they're just kind of crime, kind of comical, light kind of reading. I just picked them all up because they look kind of interesting. I found this at Gateway. I already had it, but I like the cover. Paul Thorax, The Mosquito Coast, the novel. Yeah, my copy is all beat up, and this is pristine condition. I collect the writings of Paul Thorax. This is one of his most famous novels. I have the Harrison in Salisbury is an authority on Russian history, but I didn't know he wrote a novel, and I found this at Gateway Mission Thrift Store, The Northern Pymera Affair, a novel. I have also his memoirs, but he wrote many books on Russian history, which I have down here somewhere. But I didn't know he wrote a novel. Yeah, he wrote all kinds of books on the Russian Revolution, Russian history. But so this is like a historical fiction. Takes place in Stalin's Russia. And then I found this at Gateway, The Rise and Fall of the City of Mahagonny by Bertolt Brecht. It's a play translated out of German by W.H. Auden. Yeah, I collect books on Brecht. This is a play. And then I found this at Goodwill. I had this already, but mine did not have a cover on it. It's Alan Moore's novel, Jerusalem. Yeah, mine didn't have a cover on it, and this one was in perfect condition, and it had a cover on it, so I bought it, and I put the double in the car. I also found this at Action House. Lili, Marlene, The Soldier's Song of World War II by Leibovitz and Matthew Miller. It's basically, this is it's a history of this song and how it was interpreted and how it was experienced by the soldiers in the Second World War. It's kind of like a historical background on the song and when it was being played, and I don't know, it just looked kind of interesting, so I just grabbed it. Also, I got a book in the mail today. I pre-ordered this. This is the new translation of a novel by Rodrigo Friesen, translated from the Spanish by Will van der Heyden. Melville. I got this in the mail. I already have. I've shown you over the years. I've read his other novels. Kensington Garden by Rodrigo Friesen. The Bottom of the Sky by Rodrigo Friesen. And then he wrote this trilogy. The last part this is the third one, the Remembered Part by Rodrigo Friesen. And then you have, I can't remember the sequence, The Dream Part by Rodrigo Friesen. And then The Invented Part. I've showed these over the years when I was reading them, and I keep them near me because I reread them, and so I really like his writings. I highly recommend him. And I haven't gotten, today I got his new one translated, Melville by Rodrigo Friesen. It says here on the back, a dying father in the grip of fever and delirium recounts his youth, his grand tour of the Venetian palaces populated by fascinating and evil figures, his ruin, his most beautiful journey, the crossing on foot of the frozen Hudson River. His son, still a child, sits at the foot of the bed, attentively collecting these final hallucinated words. Could the work of Herman Melville, masterful author, misunderstood, far too ahead of his time, considered crazy and dangerous by some critics, have its source in this ultimate story? Questioning the intricacies of fiction which constantly oscillates between reality and imagination, Friesen approaches the enigma of the literary vocation in a new light. An invented biography, a Gothic novel populated by ghosts, invocation of fatherly love, Melville contains all the talent, humor, immense culture found in other great works from one Spanish language literature's most ambitious writers. So I got that. So those are the used books, thrift store books, Blue Stockings, Finville used book room, Goodwill, Action House, what else? Gateway, thrift store. That's where I get these books. So now I can put them away, find a place for them down here on the lower level. Not much else going on. I just write in my paper diary. I make videos. I look at my books, watch the birds, watch the season turn from autumn season. Just pray. In the morning, I'm still reading in-depth study on the Old Testament Psalms and reading on John Arrowsmith, the Westminster Puritan Divine on spiritual warfare, and reading on the Beatific Vision. Just going through the day. So I sign off. I'm going on 25 minutes. Hope you're all doing well. I was kind of freaked out when I downloaded that last video because it was so self-revealing, but that's always been my motto. You got to be real as a Christian. Not saying you purposely do or say things that are going to hurt people or be offensive, but you try to speak the truth in love, be a light in this dark world. So I hope you're all doing well. Thank you for the new subscribers. Thank you for the comments. Thank you for interacting with me. Thank you for all your encouraging words. Thank you for even the negative comments. You know my insecurity. I get freaked out. I want to be loved. I want to be liked. I don't want to come off being a jerk, but I hope that you will bear with me in my own human weakness. Like I said in my last video, I'm a sinner saved by grace. And we all need to love one another and forgive one another, be tolerant, pray for one another, seek to point everybody to Christ and salvation. Because this world is passing away, and one day the Lord will come back in the clouds of glory and bring in the new creation and the eternal kingdom of glory. And that's what we have to look forward to in this time of political upheaval and hurricanes and droughts and wars, and it's just a mess. But once again, as I've always said, that Jesus reigns. He is the King of glory, and He is gathering His people and building His church. And one day He'll come and this world will be destroyed, and He'll bring in the new creation, and then forever righteousness will dwell. So I hope you're having a good reading week. Thank you for subscribing, and until next time, bye.